guys, Carlow CGR here, back again with another showcase video, but this time I have Killer Croc, Colonel Rick Flagg, Katana, Enchantress, Captain Boomerang, Deadshot, Harley Quinn, El Diablo, Batman for the sake of a few upgrades and new gadget, and Joker just for the sake of being here, all in honor of the new DC movie, Suicide Squad. And Suicide Squad is a movie that came out, well, the trailer came out like last year, and ever since then I was looking so forward to get our first on-screen Harley, and especially this early, like the character was invented 20 years ago. But I was also excited to see Jared Leto as Joker, Killer Croc for the first time, Deadshot, which I love from the Arkham games, and also the return of Batman. So yeah, without further ado, let's just get started. So to kick off this showcase with the first minifigure, we have the first ever live action Deadshot, played by Will Smith. So to start off with Deadshot, we're just going to go from the ground up, so we're just going to keep a look at his boots. So the boots are just completely gray, they're gray boots wrapping all the way around, and they have a little bit of brown withering inside, all over them, and he also has some black laces. And onto his legs, you can see that he has some red knee pads, and he has each of these different straps wrapping to individually different things. So this one, for example, carries his holster. And on the other side, this strap holds some 3D magazines, which were sculpted and cut out of green stuff and then painted on and glued. And yeah, I really like how it came out. It gives a nice 3D effect and it makes the figure look really good. And I just gave him a Brick Arms vest. I mean, I picked the one that looks closest to what he has in the movie, and I think this works. With some red paint, I was able to add like some indents within his suits in certain places. And yeah, it looks pretty close. And also you can see that he has this little red dot right there. I mean, there's not much to it, but he has in the movie, and I don't know what it stands for, but just want to point out that it's there. And he has his arm-mounted guns on either hand, and he has some shoulder pads too. And the arm-mounted guns, they were actually like the ends of price tags that you get on clothing. Well, yeah, price tags. And anyway, so one hand is exposed, and one hand is like a black glove with exposed fingers. And to move on with the mask is just a white head, and with some additions of gray lining going all the way back. There's not much on the back, because there isn't really that much on the back of his head. But anyways, so you can see that he has his exposed right eye, and you can see, and you can also see his like mouth area, and he has this 3D eye scope, and as you can see, it's got 3 little red dots and 2 whites. And so, just to show him what he looks like with his gun, if I can get it into his hand, that'd be nice. Alright, so the gun is pretty simple. I mean, I don't have the name of it once again. But it's just a really good looking gun. I mean, it fits him perfectly. It has some, it mainly has a color scheme of dark red with some gold hints in between, so you can see where they are, and a gray barrel at the end. And yeah, should probably check out the back. The back is just plain because like the back of his vest is just as plain as you see here, so there was no need to go into further detail. But yeah, that is it for the first ever live action Deadshot. I really hope Will Smith will bring the character what it deserves. And here we have one of my favorite figures and characters from this movie, and the amount of customs I made from it. We have Harley Quinn, and Harley Quinn was just as good as she needed to be. I think I nailed her and just got it right. So now that we're doing a quick 360, let's build up from the bottom upwards. So anyways, her boots are just regular. They have a few black stripings where it's necessary, and she has like little laces going over here. You can see through those like little gray lines. But yeah, and there's nothing much going on with the shoes. It's red on the back, accurate to the shoes in the movie, but yeah, that's basically all there is to the shoes. And now going on to the legs, where it really gets interesting. You can see that I continued the fish. Hold on. As you can see, I continued the fishnet technique all the way around on every single side of the figure, and I had to do this for 8 sides of the all four sides of one leg and also four sides of the other leg, and I had to make sure it all looks symmetrical. So yeah, in that case, it was really, really hard to do, but I pulled it off. As you can see, I gave her the necessary colors on either leg, depending on which side of the leg it needs to be colored a certain way. And yeah, so I think I should have pointed this out at the first, but as you can see, the left side of her body is in a blue pattern, and the other side is like a red but pinkish mix in there pattern. And yeah. So to move up, the belt is just a regular belt. It's got a little buckle in the middle and with like little gold dots all around. So yeah, let's continue. Yeah, that's the belt. And she has her regular t-shirt, which says Daddy's Little Monster. And as you can see, she has this little belt wrapping all the way around. Even, just take off right here for a sec. You can see it goes even on her shoulders, and it goes even on the back of the figure where it ends off really nicely right there. And her arms are actually, they're pretty simple. I mean, they just started off white, then I painted on the flesh skin tone color, and then I outlined them, and I did all the necessary red painting. And yeah. Oh yeah, she also has Lucky You for a tattoo right there, and her belly button is right above it. And yeah, I think that, oh wait, no. Oh yeah, you can see this used to be a Lego series head, but as you can see, she has a gold necklace, or like neck band going around. It's gold, but it's not like a necklace that droops like below her chin. But anyways, so her face is completely painted. I painted on her like cry line, so I guess you could call it. But you can see there's a pink going off right there, and there's a very, very light blue color going off on the the left eye. And yeah, there's even some blood dripping down from the bottom of her lips, but she's still keeping a smile, and her hair is the same. It's keeping with the pattern of right side is red and left side is blue. So yeah, as you can see, this was once from the hair piece from the new Harley Quinn from that new set. And to pull out her bat right here, I'm just going to not talk for a second and get the bat on. And as you can see, the bat, it says good night along the side, and it has these little black lines all around them to represent all the sorts of writing on it. And as you can see, she has like the little diamonds on the end. And yeah, I think that has to do it for Harley Quinn. I'm so excited to see her played by Margot Robbie in the movie. She'll be the first Harley Quinn ever, even though it's been only like 20 years since she was created. It usually takes them a long time to get these characters on the screen. But I'm still happy that they're getting her out there just amazingly quick. So yeah, let's move on to the next figure. So here we have Katana. And to start off with Katana, I just want to say how you may notice that she's not really that detailed. The reason why is because there wasn't really, like, barely anything to work with. I wouldn't have made this figure any different because she's just so simply, like, put together in the movie. But to get to starting off, I mean, like, she just has these, regular red boots that wrap around on all four sides of her legs. She has this, Asian writing on the left side of her pant leg. And she has her her sun logo on the right side of her other pant leg. And she also has her sun logo on her shoulder and the right side of her chest. But yeah, there's not really that much to Katana. I mean, like, and she also has her knee pads on the bottom here. But yeah, there's not really that much going on with her because she's just so under detailed in the movie. I mean, there's not really that much to her. I was expecting more, but I'm glad I could have a simple figure, but I was expecting it to be this simple. But to move on, also on her right arm, she also has her armband. It has the Japanese flag on it, and she also has on the back little shoulder pads, and she also has the same shoulder pad on the other side. And as you can see, she has a sash wrapping all the way around her area-like curved torso. And as I forgot to mention with Harley right here, this is also the first time I introduced area-like curved torsos on my minifigures, so I just wanted to point that out. It's gonna change now. They're gonna be a lot more detailed, but yeah. So yeah, going with the sashes, she has this sash that goes around her entire torso. I mean, it's kind of hard because the figure's arms get like a little hindered, but it's alright. They can still move pretty good. And on the back, it just ends off. And also, she has this little tie knot back here of her sash. And yeah, so her face, I just used one of the, I think it was an Anakin hairpiece. And I also painted in her mask. Well, actually, this whole started off as a blank white head, and I painted in the skin tone, and I painted in the eyes and everything else later on. So, yeah, and also she has the Japanese logo, a Japanese flag on the top of her head. And yeah, so the last thing to show off with Katana here is her sword, or should I say katana. Yeah, it's just a regular sword. It has the same dimensions as the sword I used on Deadpool earlier this year. But yeah, that's it for Katana. And here we have Killer Croc, a character that I'm personally very excited that will show up in this movie. I mean, like, at least one of them. I mean, the main love I had for this character came from the Arkham games when I played like the missions of him, like the first mission in Arkham Asylum, and you know, I saw him, he wasn't really used that much, he should have been used more, but I still thought that he was really cool, and I really thought he should have been used more in the Arkham games. But like, just making this figure was amazing because I was able to, you know, finally do like the character I love justice, because Killer Croc is one of my favorite Batman villains, right next to Joker. But anyways, to move on, he just has an alligator like style jacket. It has like a gold dragon, and also has a gold alligator on the back. And as you can see, he has this brown undershirt underneath it, and also hangs out from the back. And he has a brown brown hoodie. So yeah, and also he has these gold shoes below his He has these gold shoes. He even has these gold shoe tongues on the top, and it even wraps around on all the other sides. And yeah. So yeah, okay, so the next thing to talk about is his head, which is a completely sculpted head by me. And the sculpt of this head, I started literally like back in January when this head was sculpted. I mean, like when this, I just recently like did another layer of paint on his head because I didn't like the coloration, and I thought I should match the hands a little bit better. But yeah, the sculpting of this guy went all the way back to January. And I really think it came out good. I sculpted him completely out of green stuff. And yeah, I think that's all that really has to be said about Killer Croc. I really hope the actor can really give this guy justice here. And yeah, that's it. Let's continue on with the next figure. So here we have another simple minifigure, and the reason I say that is just once again because of his unfortunate simplicity, and that is Colonel Rick Flagg, played by Joel Kinnaman in the movie. And to start off with Rick Flagg on the bottom, we go with his most undetailed legs ever. Well, actually, it just were completely undetailed. As you can see, they wrap around on all four sides like the shoes, and just the legs were they just have like zero detail because his pants are just completely just detailless. I mean, I tried to see if there were any like extra black lines I could add on there, but like there really was like none, and there was like no reason to make it more simple for my hard for myself. I mean, I probably could have just painted it easily, but I just made it as simple as it needed to be. And yeah, he just has these black little strips for knee pads, I guess, and I just decided to add these little pocket effects on either side of the legs. As you can see, I painted little pocket strips right there. And yeah, and to move on with his torso, his arms are also very simple once again because they're simple in the movie. And the hardest thing about like this figure probably had to do with like our mounted phone on the left arm, but like at that, it wasn't even hard either. I mean, it took me like a good like day, or maybe like 2 days, or like maybe like a good day and a night. Like, and that's also like counting breaks that I took on this figure, like to sleep and whatnot. So like this guy like literally maybe had like a combined hour minus like the breaks, so it wasn't really that hard of a figure to do. But anyways, like the hardest thing was probably like doing like the side patches. And I had to like make sure like the symmetricality of the skin color was right on either arm. But yeah, For his hair, I just use a Widow's Peak hairpiece, and I use one of the new Stormtrooper heads for his head. Hold on, I need to disassemble him off cam. And yeah, he was pretty simple. And as you can see, if we take off, hold on, I just need to take off his armor piece. As you can see, underneath his armor piece, yeah, it's kind of messy under here. But underneath his armor piece, all I added was a little white strip to represent his name tag, and I also painted on a black and white version of the American flag, accurate to what he has on his chest. And you know, the back is just left plain. I mean, it's kind of dirty looking under there, but you can't see it once I put the vest on. But yeah, I really would have liked to make this guy more detailed. I mean, I just decided because he's pretty simple in the movie, and I probably just shouldn't have just, like, you know, I didn't have to make him too hard for myself. So just while I'm just putting him back together, I can finally show you my gun. Sorry if you can hear things going on upstairs. My family's up there doing stuff. So anyways, now to show you his gun while I fix his hair first. So his gun is just a simple gun. There's like certain like dark, like brownish tan elements throughout it. There's even a little end on the scope. You can even see like the little glare effect of white paint that I added. And yeah, it fit him like the most perfectly out of the guns that I had on me. So yeah, it have to do, and it just worked perfectly. So yeah, that has to do it here for Colonel Rick Flagg. And once again, we have a pretty unfortunately simple figure. I mean, so here we have Captain Boomerang, played by Jai Courtney in the movie. But anyways, so to move on with his details, as you can see on his left arm, he has a gauntlet, and he seems to have like 3 boomerangs. I think it's supposed to be like sort of like 3 badges. And the right arm is completely like undetailed because there's nothing going on. And as you can see, I just gave him a jacket, like one of the Cape Madness jackets, and as you can see, I folded it backwards, and I painted in the gray inner layer, because it has like a gray inner fuzzy like layer in it, and I also bended back some of the, I bended back at the top of his, back of his like collar, because his collar does stand up, but it also folds out in the middle. And I actually just realized that his collar does fold out, so I just pushed it back before recording, so you won't see him having the collars in a certain way in the intro or the outro. But yeah, anyways, so as you can see on his feet, he just has some of the duct tape. He has duct tape wrapping around his legs, and he just has like regular black boots. And as you can see, there's even more duct tape going over the top. And just to move back, hold on, I just gotta get in here and move back everything. As you can see, he even has like this little like plastic tube that I added for like a knife holster, which is what the duct tape is supposed to be holding. And yeah, and his shirt, it just has some little like white linings right there. There's nothing much, and as you can tell, I actually like glued down like the vestas area. So as you can see, it just said Captain, and the main reason I really did that is because I want to make sure that it stayed in place, and also like the rest of Captain that I painted on looked terrible. But anyways, yeah, oh sorry, shake the camera. So his arm can still move just fine with everything glued down, both arms too, but I'm not going to show it because it works just fine. But anyways, his face is interesting. I used one of the recent AT-AT Lego sets. I think it came out near like Christmas time or something. But anyways, I used one of the guys with like the beard, and I painted whatchamacallit. I painted brown around the beard like that. And also, as you can realize, I used the Superman hair for his hair, but painted it brown. And I realized that Michael MJF used the same exact hair. And before you say that I copied him, I actually, as you can see, I put it on Instagram, like his hair, like the Captain Boomerang head, on way before Michael MJF ever showed his. And you can actually see for proof if you go to my Instagram page. And speaking of this guy, when I posted the head of this guy, like a few Suicide Squad accounts, I'm pretty sure they were fan accounts, liked my picture, so that was pretty cool. And also to go over his boomerang. Oh, keeps on falling. I'll have to do this all off cam. I mean, like, I'm just so done with having to do this sort of stuff like on cam because it never goes well. And yeah, and so here's his boomerang. It's just two of my rectangular bricks that I got, and then I like cut them at certain angles and I glued them together, so they're just like one by something gray tiles, and they also got like a little wash of silver on them, and you know it could just hold them perfectly. And they're not the greatest looking. I mean, like if you look at it from this angle, you sort of see it. So it's all about perspective, but it still looks good for what it's worth. And yeah, that has to do it for Jai Courtney as Boomerang. I mean, there's nothing much to say about this villain. I don't know too much about him, but I still think he'll be likable as what I've been hearing about him in the movie. So here we have Enchantress played by Cara Delevingne. And Enchantress, I mean, she was a pretty complex figure because I didn't have any like skin colored like area like her torso or legs, so I had to completely match it with Lego skin color. It wasn't the hardest thing to do, but it was still kind of difficult. And let's start off with her legs. Her legs were probably like the hardest part of this figure because the only part I knew about was like up to here, like the top half of the front of the legs, and everything else, like the sides, like the bottom half, the other sides, the complete back, and the insides, was all just a guess. But anyways, to start off with the design that I made up myself, as you can see, I gave her little toes right there. You see little indentations with black paint, and you know the legs I gave her like I dropped her. Anyways, with the legs, I gave her these crosses with little circles at the end, and I painted these little these little ankle braces around her. And yeah, and she also has these little tattoos on either side, which just represents like the tattoos on her stomach. So the one that's going sideways is the one like that, and the one's going up and down is the same one that's going up and down. So it'll be similar. And yeah. The back has nothing, basically nothing, just continue like the ankle braces, and I gave her chainmail like panties, as you can see. If I bend her over, it will continue. And on the other side, of the figure, as you can see, it'll still continue the same effect. It'll still go backwards. And the whole figure, I just dry brushed her with a bunch of like different colors. I added I dry brushed her with like black only, and I gave her fishnet like metal rings like for her arms, and on each arm, as you can see, there's like a different tattoo. This one's a flower. This one has like 2 lines and a dot. And as you can see, she has her chainmail bra and all sorts of straps leading all the way underneath her torso, and it, just goes up there. Pretty self-explanatory. And also, here's the sides I forgot to show off. And yeah. That's do it for that. And also her hair piece is pretty simple. It's just a librarian hair piece. As you can see, I've outlined her cheeks in gray, and then I gave her gray underneath her eyes with yellow eyes. I gave her the eyebrows. I highlighted them, and I painted the black strip above her forehead, and I painted her little crest on the top of her hair. And yeah, that has to basically do it for Enchantress. Don't know too much about her, but I plan to learn about her within the Suicide Squad movie. So here we have El Diablo. And El Diablo was, again, one of the figures that was actually pretty simple. I mean, he was, like, pretty much, like, almost like a day's progress if you, like, combine it. I mean, his head is, like, one of the things I started on first, but just things happen. I ended up getting more interested in all the other ones, and then I finally finished this guy last. I actually finished this guy a few hours ago from the point in which this segment is getting recorded. But anyways, to start from his legs, he just has these white Nike boots. You can see the white Nike swoosh on either side, and as you can see, there's a little black lining that goes all the way around. And yeah, that's basically it for legs, almost, but on the bottom of his legs are once again, he had the same problem with Rick Flagg. They were just too simple. There was like no lining, so I added one of these pocket effects that it was inspired from the Death Star Trooper legs. And it's not dead on, it's just an inspiration of those legs. So yeah, you can see that, and you actually see a few crease lines here and there. And also within like his undershirt, you can see crease lines here. And yeah, and continue on with his little outfit. You can see he has these stripes going on the side. And as you can see, he has like, oh yeah, already went over that. Anyways, he has these silver buttons going up his shirt, and there is his name tag right there, as you can see with that little white line with that black blob in between it, and also there are 2 quotation marks on the side. And on the top of his neck, you can see his exposed skin. And yeah. Oh, and also if you bend the head over, you can make out the lining on the top of his neck. So basically just a continuation of what's going on the sides of the bottom of the torso. And his arms are just wrapped in black and yellow stripes within the pattern. And yeah, and also on the sides, it looks like I just gave him these blue pocket slits. And yeah, his face is pretty self-explanatory. I tried to paint Diablo under there my best, but it came out looking, well, okay. And I painted his teeth, his nose, and all the tattoos necessary where they need to be. Excuse me. And to finish it off, on his back, I painted the numbers on the back of his head, and I painted the symbol he has. So basically, I painted the Lego version of a skull wearing a hat, and I painted some orange lines representing the fire. And speaking of fire, you may know that El Diablo's power is to manipulate fire. So right here, I have with him a little fire rod for him to carry around. And yeah, that has to do with El Diablo, played by Jay Hernandez. I really hope he can do a good job. Once again, a character I have no idea about, but I think it'll be interesting learning about him. So now here we have Batman. Well, yeah, the reason I have Batman is because the last time I showed him back in June, it's just that the cowl was kind of rough and it didn't look too good. So what I did, I went over it with some nail polish, some cover-up, like nail polish sealant, and I just went over it and then went over it black so it would be smoother, and while at the same time it will still like not be shiny. But like the main addition here is his grapple gun, and to make the grapple gun was pretty simple. What I used is I got one of the miniature Star Wars blaster rifles, the small versions, and what I did is I cut the scope off, and I got some 1x1 studs, and I cut the stud off and glued them on either side, and I just gave him a little plastic piece that you get on the end tag of like a price tag of clothing, and I put it on there, and I think it looks really nice. And to give you a better look at what it will look like in his hand, we're just gonna put it right. Okay, so that's what it looks like with it in hand. So yeah, just ready to blast away and get wherever he needs to go. I actually saw that he uses it within the scene where he's taking down Harley and Joker. And speaking of Joker, Joker has no additions made to him. I'm not even gonna bother making a segment about him. He's just here just for the sake of being here. And yeah, that has to do it for the entire Suicide Squad showcase. I hope you guys enjoyed. So now let's finally conclude this thing. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. These figures took too long to make. They completely ate up July for me. I mean, it's completely crazy. I started like with Deadshot back like on July 1st. But yeah, I'm finally glad that these guys are done and out of my way, and we can move on to more things like Doctor Strange coming up later this year. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Goodbye.